I think one of the main reasons why there's a lot of frustration against Tesla stock is because they're comparing it to other stocks. And I made a post about this on X, how comparison is the ultimate thief to joy. And that's absolutely true. People are looking at Nvidia stock and the other magnificent 6 or 7 stocks right now and comparing to Tesla, saying that everyone is going up, but my investment in Tesla is not, and therefore Tesla stock sucks and Elon is bad and it's a garbage stock, it's dead money and all that. Guys, you have to stay patient. Patience, that's the key here.
Oh, but Pejjy, I've been patient for 2-3 years.
You think 2-3 years is gonna do anything? 2-3 years is not enough for any stock unless you've timed it perfectly, unless you timed Tesla 2019 perfectly, unless you timed Nvidia stock just last year, unless you timed some other stocks perfectly, which not everyone can do all the time. And you know what's funny? Majority of the guys who are complaining to me are the ones who invested in Tesla stock 2 to 3 years ago when it was at the high or close to its high. Well, now it's getting close to its lows, and every other stock seems to be going up and doing well except for Tesla. And they say that they're patient and they're a long-term investor. Here's the thing, guys. If you've been holding Tesla stock for more than 5 years, you will not be complaining. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how, again, being a long-term investor really pays off for Tesla, and how patience, right? This word right here, this magical word right here, which all you got to do is just do nothing. Just let your investment do its thing. In the long term, how it's going to reward you and pretty much all of us, and especially us Tesla investors. Tesla investors, be patient, smash that like button. This video is going to get pretty darn shishi. And hit subscribe if you haven't already, man. Let's go. You know, there's a saying that when in doubt, zoom out. And I know I've done this a couple of times on this channel, but I think it's very important to do that. And so that's what we're going to do right now here, and then go on to go into some juicy stuff afterwards. Here is the all-time of Tesla stock being on the Tesla stock since 2010 of their IPO. $1.28. Could you imagine that? $1.28. So let's say you bought it in 2010. You've held for 3 years. You know, you've made about 2 to 3 times your money within, or 3 years, for 3 years of holding. Not bad. And then just a year after that, it popped up, went all the way up to like 1,000% since you bought it, if you bought it in the beginning in the IPO. Here's the thing, when this goes up, there's a lot of FOMO that comes in with other, investors. And so let's say you bought at the $16, $16.41 or somewhere around there. Then it goes down. For 5 years, you've been holding. Oh, nice, I made money. Oh, I lost money. Oh, look, I made money. I lost money. Oh, wait, wow, I'm up like a lot, 50%. Now I'm back down. And then 5 years, guys, 5 years. You've been holding the stock for 4 to 5 years. And not only have you not made money, if you decide to sell at that time, you would have lost 23%. But all you had to do is just wait 1 more year, and look at that. You went up 300% almost. Then you went up again in another, like you rode this roar. And with the amount of shares that you had in 2014, which looks like a bargain, people wish to have that many shares at that time. 1,500% up. And then to its all-time highs of 23 or 2,400%, and now to just below 1,000%. These people are not complaining. These people know what's coming for Tesla in the next 3, 4, 5 years. And I know majority of them who are long-term investors have not sold. It's only the guys who bought at the top over here, whether it was the first top or the second top or the third top, whatever it may be, that has bought and they thought it's going to continue to go up, like how what Nvidia is right now, because that thing is continuing to go up with no end in sight, and it's going to go up to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. And hey, I've already made a video about how it could continue to go up. The fundamentals are pretty strong. You guys can check the video here. But nothing goes up forever. Something always happens. Something comes up unexpectedly. That's how these stocks move. This is just the technicals of stocks. And especially with Tesla stock, with all the overnight success that they have, because they've been working on it for so many years, that it's just one overnight success and boom, it goes up, whether it's a positive cash flow in their earnings based on a certain product or service. All these matter. But nonetheless, what I'm trying to show you guys here is when in doubt, zoom out. And you can see that long term, when you invest in Tesla, I'm talking about long term, like minimum of 5 years. So if you bought at 2021 and you're mad because it's 2024 and you've lost like 50% of your money, well, guess what, homie? That's only 3 years of being in the stock, and buying high is never really a good idea. Chasing hype is not a good thing. But if you have the willpower and confidence to hold for another 2 to 3, 4 years, I think you won't be, complaining. Not financial advice, but that's what I'm saying. But Pejjy, man, okay, fine. 14 years, 15 years that Tesla has been on IPO on the stock market. Long-term investing seems to be the right strategy for Tesla. It looks like everybody agrees, right? I mean, if you disagree, you're clearly blind, but we're not going to go down that route. But how about the future, right? The future is more important. Past performances doesn't dictate the future of any company or any stock, and you're absolutely right. Despite my own valuation of Tesla stock and my price target of 350 this year, let's take a look at the total analysts of what they're thinking, how Tesla stock is going to perform in the next year, 2, and 3 up until end of 2026, even though they flip like switches every single day and every single month based on whatever happens to the stock. If something comes up or something gets canceled, it always changes. But at the time being, let's take what we got, and I took simply Wall Street's because it's pretty much all condensed into one. And you guys can see that by end of 2024, $110 billion in revenue and almost $10 billion in earnings. The year after that, $133 billion in revenue, almost $14 billion in earnings. And 2026, end of 2026, over $150 billion and almost $18 billion in profits. Let's put this in the spreadsheet. I made a separate one, and let's see what the stock prices would be. One with only energy and vehicles, and one when we include FSD and licensing as well. That's it. No robo taxis, no insurance, nothing else. Not even the bot, because I don't even know how to calculate that. Just the FSD, because the reason why I'm all in into Tesla stock is because of FSD. So let's go ahead. Let's put that in. I mean, I've already made the chart here. Smash that like button because I know it's not smashed. So smash it. Come on, man. Smash it. So here is the one with vehicle and energy alone, and I have it until 2030. But 2024 to 2026 is what Wall Street is analyzing, and that's how we got close to their numbers, which is 2.7 million vehicle deliveries in 2026. Now, this may be true because it all depends on interest rate cuts and macro environment and how fast you can get the compact car out. But I do think 2.7 could be a little bit on the bearish side. Nonetheless, we see that we are reaching 8 million vehicle deliveries by 2030, going based on their analysis. Right? We're going based on their analysis. You guys can see the revenue and the earnings is based on what they were saying. All we got to do here is put a reasonable PE here and see what the price would be for every single year. So for 2024, right now the PE is around 40. If we're going to give it a 40 PE end of, let's say 2024, we have all these numbers. It's a stock price of 111, a market cap just a little bit over $360 billion. So that's not good. We don't want to have a 40 PE in 2024. But again, this is only assuming that Tesla is only going to be a car company and an energy company, which in that case, maybe that's a good valuation. Only in that case. Again, in this valuation, we're not accepting anything else other than energy and vehicles. So a 40 PE would be a little bit low. Maybe a 50 PE would make sense by end of the year. Or even a 60 PE around 167 around there. Let's just put a 50 PE just to say, conservative, I guess, in a way. 2025, I'm going to give it a 40 PE here as well. That's $150 per share. Let's put a 45 of 169 around there because they are growing. They did grow nicely in 2024 to 2025 in terms of earnings. In 2026, give it a 45 PE because things are looking to turn around. Compact cars coming out. We have interest rates going lower. Macro environment's getting better. 45 PE seems to be all right around there. So let's give it that. In 2027, they're reaching 3.6 billion. The growth is insane. You can probably give it even also a 45 PE there as well. Let's give it a 43 PE of around $300 per share. Around almost $1 trillion valuation. Energy is picking up pretty nicely, as we can see. The efficiency is growing nicely here as well. In 2028, we can give it a P of 40, which would be a stock price of like 390 and a market cap over 1.2 trillion. In 2029, give it a P of 30 of $412 per share, 1.3 trillion. And in 2030, a 25 PE. And I think that's reasonable if we're just looking at Tesla as an energy company and a vehicle company. And that's it. They're not doing AI. They're not doing robotics, nothing. 25 PE, a stock price of $457 per share, and a market cap of $1.5 trillion, which is extremely rich. I would understand why we should compare it to Toyota, because here I would understand Toyota does about $300 billion in revenue just from vehicles alone. And if we're just looking at Tesla through vehicles alone and energy as well, it kind of makes sense to, look at it at a car perspective in a way, automotive business in a way. But they got energy here, which Toyota doesn't, hence why the 25 PE and not the 10 PE or the 15 PE that whole industry is around, all the car industry is around. Now, some would say because of that, they're not growing. That's why the PE is low, between 10 to 15. Let's give it a 30 PE. Sure. That's the max I can see at 1.8 trillion valuation, 548 bucks per share. I mean, the earnings are ridiculous, 64 billion, 70 billion. And that's ridiculous. Maybe based off that, if they do dividends or if they do buybacks, maybe we can see it, maybe even a higher PE, 35 around there, but that's the max. I don't see it going anything more than that. Let's just go back to 25 PE just to stay conservative. Now, do I think this valuation makes sense? Only if Tesla was a car company and an energy company. That's it. And I will not be going all in if this was the case. However, though, what I'm going to show you with the FSD, guys, and this is just the FSD, there's the bots and the supercharging network, all that other stuff is not really included. Just the FSD. Not even robotaxi is included. Just the FSD licensing, and when FSD gets solved and all the vehicles around the world of Tesla can use FSD, it's going to blow your flipping mind. If you guys are ready, man, smash that like button because this is about to get shishi. The numbers are 90% correct when it comes to FSD, so nothing is ever 100%. But it's going to be a sheesh moment. Check this out, guys. Right off the bat, you guys can see FSD global revenue and FSD licensing. I've added them, and I'm predicting 2025, that's when FSD will go global. Anyone with a Tesla in regulated countries and approved countries can use FSD, and it's no longer beta, and this is 100% solely based on a $200 monthly subscription. I made a video about this a long time ago, but it still applies to this. You guys can check it out over here. But 2025 is when I think they're going to start. 2027 is when I think they're going to start licensing to other automakers. Look at that, from 10 billion all the way to $70 billion in earnings in licensing profits, which is absolutely insane. The licensing business of this for Tesla doing with their FSD is enormous and should not be ignored. It just should not be ignored. It's more than the actual vehicles opting in for FSD. You guys can see the numbers here. But let's see what the price targets would be in 2024. Because we are seeing FSD coming and all that kind of stuff, I could see it as 60 PE by end of this year, which would give us a stock price around 166. Some will say it's too bearish. It could be too bearish, but I'm including here there's no interest rate cuts, not at all. If there was, maybe we can probably see a PE of around 70, maybe around even 80. However, though, everyone seems to be very bearish, so let's just give it a 60 PE. 2025, that's the first time where we will see FSD going global. And look at that, $7 billion in the first year. See, guys, I'm telling you, when this happens, it's an overnight success for Tesla, and all they need to do is one over-the-air update or a snap of a finger. All right, guys, anyone with a Tesla in the US, Canada, I don't know, UK, maybe even Australia and some other countries can go ahead and opt in for their FSD. And if this is based on a 50% take rate of $200 every month, with the amount of vehicles they have on the road in end of 2025, which will be close to 10 million. Yeah, that's $3 billion overnight. And all of a sudden, all these analysts will go like, oh, we have to add this. We have to add this now into our analysis. We didn't see this coming at all. Oh my God. The usual thing, right? So I can see that happening, and I can see the PE soaring as high as flipping 80, close to $400. I could even see this going as high as 100, because now they're going to be adding billions upon billions onto their valuation sheets and saying that, oh, we didn't see this coming. This was absolutely insane. On top of that, we got the compact car coming, or if not already there. On top of that, interest rates get cut. On top of that, so many other things will come that we don't even know what's going to happen. It's just absolutely insane. Maybe a buyback or something, because this is just printing money at this point. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I'm going to give it a 65 PE. All right, $310 per share, $1 trillion valuation, at least in this case, I think makes sense. 2026, give it a 60 PE because look at that, the global revenue has increased 30% and almost 50% in the profits as well. That's a stock price of almost $400 per share and a market cap almost of 1.3 trillion. In 2027, we got the first licensing deals going. Bam, look at that. 12 billion in profits, 12.5 billion in revenue, and 10 billion in profits. And this is based on 80% take. There should be close to maybe 100% because just licensing it out, but 80%. And we're not even talking about any robotaxis or anything, because if this is being licensed and Tesla is already having all these full self-driving cars everywhere, robotaxi should be added. But I'm not even adding that. So anyways, we put that in. We can see the revenue jumping from 166 billion to over $200 billion. We see net income gap. Look at that, doubling. This looks like a NVIDIA moment if you guys ask me. That's an insane moment. If that happens, at lowest PE, I'm gonna give it the lowest PE of 55, and that's a stock price of $656 per share, and that's a market cap of 2.2 trillion. Most people will say that give this more. 65p or something, because this is brand new technology, no one has ever done it before, and it's being on mass scale like never before. You could see $775 per share and potentially a stock split coming then. I'm just saying so. But 55 PE, I wouldn't get too ahead of myself around there. 2028, look at the FSDs growing. Crazy. A 50 PE giving a stock price of $912 per share and a market cap of almost 3 trillion, which is absolutely a sheesh moment. And take a look at the operating margins, man. 23%. That's insane. 2029, 28% margins. That's just operating margin. That's just insane. The question is, will the vehicle gross profits be in the low 20s? That's the only question that I have. But nonetheless, energy is coming through, the licensing, the FSDs. These guys have 60% profit margins, and the licensing has over 80%. So margins looking flipping awesome. Tesla's printing money. 2029, I'm gonna give it a 45 PE, 1369, which is kind of ironic, and a market cap almost at 4.5 trillion in valuation in 2030. And look at this, guys, 2030, only 8.3 million vehicle deliveries until, my prediction is around maybe 13 million, around there. But here we're going based on the analysts that Wall Street is doing, all those other guys, and just slapping on FSD here, only 8.3 million deliveries. Okay, whatever, man. The average selling price should be much higher if that's the case. But anyways, we're just gonna, go based on what they think is right and wrong, whatever it is. And I'm just showing you guys how patience, just doing nothing and relaxing and just letting your investment do its thing, things will work out at the end. That's all I'm saying. That's why I'm all into Tesla stock, and I continue to buy. Right? So more than $500 billion in revenue by end of the decade, and a net income gap of over $160 billion. Give that a 40 PE. It's a stock price of 1823 and a market cap of almost 6 trillion. And if you guys want to add the robotaxi on this, that's a 50 PE, right? Easily of almost 7.5 trillion in valuation, almost 2,300 in the stock price. And if you want to add on the bot, add additional 10 PE of 60, that's a stock price of almost reaching 2,800 and almost $9 trillion in valuation. Some people are saying you're missing the energy, the insurance, all the other small stuff and other parts that Tesla is working on. Fine, 65 PE, right? Almost 3K in shares. The market cap almost 10 trillion. What's the PE do we need to reach 10 trillion? 68 of 3,100, maybe even 69. Whatever. Let's just 68. Just over 10 trillion. That's just insane. But anyways, I'm gonna go back to a 40 PE because I don't wanna jump the gun. I'm going based on these numbers here. $1,800. And a market cap of 6 trillion. Compared to if Tesla was only a car company, an energy company of 1.5 trillion, that's a 4x difference. And all we included was just the FSDs. That's it. That's all we included. So if you guys are believing that the stock price is gonna be like, let's say 150 this year, and you think that, and you're okay with the stock being about $400 by 2030, there's a 3 times almost your money, right? Almost a little bit less than that, 2.5 times. That's not bad. I'm not saying that's bad. That's not bad. That is better than the S&P 500. Every 7 years, your money gets doubled. You're doubling here. You're doubling this and within 5-6 years, which is not bad at all if you're buying around these times. If you bought an all-time high, yeah, that's not gonna be good. If you only believe that Tesla's only a car company, an energy company. But if you guys think that FSD should be included and just the FSD, nothing else, and you're buying at 150, you're 14xing your money. And if you buy at an all-time high of 400, that's a 4.5 times, 5 times by 2030. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Patience is key. You're probably angry because you bought in 2021 or even 2022 or even late of 2020. You're probably breaking even or actually going lower. But I promise you that anyone who has hold Tesla stock more than 5 years, they've made their money back and then some, plus times 100, whatever the number is. So really, patience is key when it comes to any types of investing, really, whether it's real estate or other stocks or even mainly Tesla stock. But I understand why it's so hard with Tesla, because there's a lot of negative sentiment towards it, and you have a CEO who's like sometimes there but sometimes isn't. I totally understand that. And I understand why he's not, sometimes there, because he's not needed as much. He's only needed for the FSD and the bot. But again, I'm so confident of this company that it's going to become the world's most valued company one day. My prediction is by end of the decade, we're going to be seeing vehicles driving themselves. And it's going to be the new norm where you just sit in your car. The car will drive you places and you can do whatever you want in the car. Watch Netflix, edit a video, make a video, whatever, eat, whatever you want, be on your phone. It's going to be a whole different world of driving, and Tesla's going to be in the lead. That is my thesis. That is what I'm pretty much betting on. And if it wasn't for this reason alone, I will not be all in on Tesla stock, and I will not be continuing to buy. But as a Tesla investor, patience, that's what's needed. And these FSD things, they just come up. They don't give you any warnings or any heads up or anything like that. They just come up out of flipping nowhere. I like to compare this to other stocks, like for example Meta. Again, if you guys aren't following me on X, I don't know why you guys I don't know what you guys are doing. For sure, you guys should follow me there. I do post some really juicy stuff. But I mentioned here about Meta, how it was an all-time low 15 months ago and now it's an all-time high. Things can change very quickly. That's all I'm gonna say. If you guys need some optimism from Elon himself, because he is the CEO, talking about Tesla, because I know he doesn't do that as much as anymore, check out this video because he dropped some delicious bombshells that I think you as a Tesla investor should know about. Check it out, guys. Here I bought the Deb t-shirt, or the she short. I'm wearing the she short now because it is a sheesh moment. As a way of supporting me. Subscribe and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.